Hello folks, this is Fish Daddy Jack. I'm sorry it has been a while. My spouse has been in the hospital for a while now, like over 2 weeks. And lately it's been back and forth to the hospital for me. It's been pretty stressful. He's fine. He is fine. He'll be out soon, thank God. But yeah, it's been pretty stressful lately, so I really haven't had much of a time to put out some content, and I am sorry. Today I've decided to do a presentation on my African water fern. I decided to talk about why I like it, why it's a great plant to grow, and also a caveat or a drawback on this particular plant as well. If you like this channel and you like all things freshwater aquarium related, I hope that you give me a like. Please show me some love. It doesn't cost anything. And I would like to see you subscribe and also hit the bell notification for future upcoming videos. So with that, let's go check out my African water fern and let me talk about it. Here is my 29-gallon community aquarium that I keep in my bedroom. As you can see, it kind of looks a bit of a mess right now. And the reason it looks like a mess is because of this one plant that I'm going to talk about today. I do love the plant, but it is just getting way too big. So this plant that you see right in here is my Bobitis houtelati or houtelati. I'm not sure if that is the correct pronunciation. I do know that this was named after a French aquatic plant collector by the name of Jean-Pierre Houteloy. I do not know if that is correct or the correct pronunciation. I am not French or have much experience with French words, so correct me if I'm wrong. I tried to look it up on Google, but I couldn't find any reference on how to pronounce this name. So with that, this is also called the African water fern, and it's also, you could call it the creeping fern, or, which is, to me, that's quite generic, or you can call it the Congo fern. I've heard it called that as well. This fern is native to tropical and subtropical Africa, Ethiopia, and Senegal, and it goes all the way down to South Africa as well. The plant is said to be shade-loving. However, this plant can tolerate a wide variety of lighting conditions. Now, when you take a look at this particular one, you wouldn't know it, but it's actually had a fair amount of light. But because of the plants that are growing over the top of it, that I'm waiting to kind of stick down in the substrate, it actually had at one time more light, but now it's being kind of shaded. It is said that this plant prefers to have slightly acidic, well, actually pretty far acidic, like down to a 5.0 up to neutral pH range, which is about 7.0, of course. However, other reports, and I tend to believe that one, say that this has been kept well and thriving in more alkalinity water conditions. And I have one in another tank that is being grown in 8.0 pH, and I've got a lot of GH and KH as well. GH is, of course, your general water hardness, and the KH is carbonate water hardness. Actually, it's your stability is how you should think of it. The more KH you have, the more stability your tank is going to be to pH swings. So we'll probably talk about that on another video. The plant, as you can see, this one is pretty massive. It is roughly about, well, let's just say it's every bit of maybe over 12 inches wide. It's touching the front and the back sides of the glass. And it's probably got about 10 or 12 inches in height as well. It can definitely reach a height of up to 22 inches. And of course, with the side shoots, it'll just continually spread and get bigger. With that said, what I would like to do is move on, and we'll talk more about this plant, but I would like to show you where I have it in another one of my aquariums. So let me go ahead and pause the video here, and I'll show you some more. Okay, folks, I know I've shown you this tank before on a recent previous video. This is my longfin lemon blue-eyed plecos and my breeding tank. Right here you see, if you want an update on this fish, I've got the male. He's working with another spawn, maybe 2 clutches of fry from 2 females in this tank. That's probably for another video. And I've got some babies around this tank. They're kind of hiding. There's one right back there. Here's another one. Some of the bigger ones, I have not fed them today, so they're not up at the front greeting me today. They want some food, but they've got other things to feed on. I mean, there's some algae and other things, so folks, they're not starving. Let's talk more about this plant. Well, here is my Bulbitis hudalatii in this tank, or African water fern. So back with the update on this one. The general care on this one is it can tolerate shade or a wide variety of stuff. It's said to be a really slow growing plant. Now, one thing I am going to tell you about this is this particular fern I've actually had longer than that other fern, and this one is roughly only about maybe 6 inches in diameter and maybe about 4 inches in height, and I've had this one longer. But the other one gets something that this one doesn't. Sure, this is more alkaline water. However, I don't think that is holding back the growth on this particular plant. What the other one has that it's getting that this one is not getting is, well, it's got better lighting, of course. And also, aside from that, it's got a higher amount of water flow. I put a small water pump in that particular tank because it's a deeper tank. Well, this one is too, actually. This is also a 29-gallon aquarium. but I put a water pump in that other tank to add to the flow. And because of that, that plant has grown like gangbusters, a lot faster than this one has. Both of them started out in your typical small, I don't know, what are they, like 2.5 inch in diameter aquarium pots or whatever they are. Now, this particular fern is just like a lot of other ferns. It is an epiphytic fern, meaning you do not plant it in the substrate. Instead, you just attach it to rock or wood or whatever. Now it grows up to a height of up to 22 inches. Yeah, as you can see, my other one is quite large. And with the spread, it just continually spreads. Now, this one is not attached to anything. I just basically set it on top of the substrate. Matter of fact, I can easily pick it up and take it out of the tank if I need to. And sometimes I do if I have to kind of clean up or whatever. But I don't do a lot of gravel vacuuming or anything like that. As a matter of fact, this is a sand substrate, a dirted tank for that matter. So you do not want to do any gravel vacuuming whatsoever in this tank. Sorry, just kind of scrolling off to kind of show you my other little fishies and stuff. What can I say? I love them. Propagation, you can propagate this plant by removing or cutting off side shoots of this plant, and I've done this and I've put them in some of my other aquariums. Some of them are in my shell dweller aquariums, and I know the water hardness in those are probably about more of an 8.2 range in pH, with even more carbonate water hardness and general water hardness as well. So yeah, with that, I think it is an incredibly beautiful fern. I mean, this one's got darker green leaves because it's growing in shade. The other tank I showed you, it's got lighter green leaves because it was growing more in moderate lighting. So with that, it's also, got the dainty foliage. It looks dainty and feathery looking. I find that fish love it. Shrimp love it. So yeah, fish kind of pick at the little algae in the fern, kind of pick at the little algae that's in it. Some of your smaller fish hide in it. It adds good coverage. It would be good for fry. I think this would be good for a lot of aquatic critters that hide. I kind of think this would make a wonderful plant that would go well in my dwarf African frog tank. If I had it just kind of by itself, it would make a good solo plant, and the frogs can kind of hide in it or whatever. And also they can kind of go up towards the top and hang out at the top if it's grown towards the top of the tank. But it is a really amazing plant. I do love it. It's one of my favorites. Again, care for this plant. It's fairly easy. It takes a well-cycled aquarium, and nutrient rich. You can give it some ferts, easy green or whatever you can. Otherwise, it's a water it doesn't feed from the substrate. It feeds from the water column, like most other ferns do. With that, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I thank you all for watching. I know this has been a long time coming. I've taken some time off, but then again, I guess you can understand my reasons why. It's been quite stressful. Once I get off of here, I've got to wrap things up and actually head up to the hospital soon. Well, with that said, I hope you give this video a like and subscribe, and also hit that bell notification for future upcoming videos. Again, thank you for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day.